As you can see behind us, the sun has set on Mobile Bay as day number 2 of the Reese's Senior Bowl has come to a close. Alongside Tommy Yarish, I'm Kyle Yeomans of DallasCowboys.com and the Draft Show, bringing you an extra late version of a day 2 recap. It was a busy, busy day. We were on Radio Row starting at 5 a.m. this morning, going into practice at 9. You had a lot of coaching news and then a media day to cover. So here we are at sunset, breaking down what just happened at Hancock Whitney Stadium in day 2 of practice. Tommy, some of the guys that stood out yesterday, we're back at it again today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you look at Tez Johnson from Oregon as a guy who we saw yesterday but didn't really talk about as much. Today, he showed why he was so good in one-on-ones. And you look at how he explodes off the line of scrimmage, just instantly winning there. That's so important with wide receivers when you evaluate them, to watch how they play at the line of scrimmage and how the defensive backs react. Well, defensive backs had nowhere to go today against Tez Johnson. He was blowing past him. Not the biggest guy. I know that his weight has been a concern for some of those in the draft process. How can he hold up against some more physical corners, and can he take these hits in against these more bigger, physical, stockier corners? Well, today he showed that it doesn't matter if he's just faster than all of them. So certainly that'll be different at the NFL level, but today he looked really good.
There was one player that I thought did a good job against Johnson, and only one. It was a USC nickel corner, Jalen Smith. I thought he had a couple of good reps. Then he got beat by Johnson, and then he got him back again. So it was a good back and forth throughout the one-on-one period, moving into the team periods as well. Johnson working mostly out of the slot today. Jalen Smith had a couple good reps against him, but other than that, it was another Tez Johnson special here in Mobile. Another corner I'd like to shine some light on. Of course, yesterday we talked about how it was a rough day for the secondary. I thought Quincy Riley from Louisville was very good today. Had a couple of pass breakups, nearly had an interception off of a tip pass as well. Very active on the outside, worked inside as well for a couple of reps. In a situation of one-on-one reps where corners are struggling, where corners are already behind the 8-ball, I thought he stood up well and did a good job. But it wasn't just about the passing game. There was a lot of fun in the trenches today, too.
Yeah, always so much fun when you look at these trenches, right? I think you look at Anthony Belton from NC State as one of the big winners today. The offensive tackle, just a big dude, and he went against some good talent. I think there was one rep where I talked to you after he went up against Mike Green, who I know is a friend of the a friend of the program because of how much our fans like him, and rightfully so. Mike Green had a great day today as well, but it was notable when Belton held his own against Mike Green, and he held his own all day today. And then you look at the interior of that defensive line, Gray Zeebel, I know that's a guy that you had your eye on too, Kyle.
Yeah, he was great again today, of course, out of North Dakota State, another small school guy. The Senior Bowl is great for elevating small school products because they get an opportunity to see another level of competition that they didn't put film on or against early in their season. So getting a guy like Gray Zabel that opportunity at the guard spot, stood his wall, stood his own, had great footwork, strong hands, and has really been one of the best offensive linemen in the entire Senior Bowl class, something to keep an eye on moving forward. Now, I know you got a chance to catch up with one of the guys we mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to catch up with Texas defensive end Barryn Sorrell. I talked about him a little bit yesterday. Said I was a little bit more surprised about how good he was in one-on-one pass rushing situations because I saw him more as a strong run defender. So Barryn and I talked about that a little bit more today. Barryn, 2 really good days for you here. Seeing you take a lot of steps forward as a pass rusher in these one-on-one reps, how much pride do you take in being able to win at the line of scrimmage?
Yes, I mean, as a competitive player, I want to be the best, and I'm just coming out here to show that I'm a competitive player, and I can do things in the run game, and I could do things in the pass game, and that was my main thing, just coming out here showing these coaches that I'm a leader, I'm a winner, and I'm a competitor.
And now, as these competitions have gone on, where have you seen yourself improve now with some NFL-style coaching in terms of what you're able to do?
Right, I've been blessed to have some very good coaches, and they've been helping me, teaching me things. I mean, greatness is in the small details, and they've been showing me a lot of different details, so very thankful to those guys.
And part of this, too, is hearing from NFL organizations and getting feedback on your game and where they see you fitting into their scheme. What have you learned the most in those meetings with teams so far?
I mean that my variety of the positions that I played is helping me on this level and just showing my versatility, and I'm just excited to get there.
Have you talked with the Dallas Cowboys yet at all?
Yes, sir, I have.
How was that conversation?
It was good, man. I'm just looking for an opportunity, and they were talking to me like they were interested in giving me the opportunity, so it was a blessing to talk to them.
Let's say come April, you get selected to be a Dallas Cowboy in the draft. What would that mean to you?
It would mean a lot, just for the fact that that team believes in me to go out there and play at the next level, and that's all I'm looking for is just an opportunity to compete.
Yeah, clearly Kyle Barryn Sorrell, very confident guy, and he's confident in what he's put forward too this week at the Senior Bowl. So certainly someone to keep an eye on.
That's the thing about this week is it can serve as a springboard for draft stock, but also for confidence. And we've seen that from a couple players throughout as well. One of those guys is Jalen Royals from Utah State, wide receiver, compact build, but somebody that models his game, he said, after a guy like Deontay Johnson. I got a chance at Media Day just a couple moments ago to catch up with Mr. Royals. You've already gotten off to a great start this week. I mean, what's the whole week of practice been like for you?
It's been fun, just coming out and just showcasing my style and play and going against great DBs. So it's been fun.
There have been a lot of Cowboys fans that are excited about the wide receiver class. Why should they be excited about you and what you bring to the table?
I feel like they should be excited because I'm an overall playmaker and just I feel like I could bring a lot to the table. So.
You were a little banged up this past year, but your production when you came back did not suffer. You put up almost 1,000 yards in 6 games? 6 games. It's unbelievable. What was the key to coming back and having so much success?
Actually, I played 7 games. Only had 800 yards. So, yeah, I played 7 games. I was out for the rest of the season, but just coming back. Coming right now, this is my first time playing since the injury, so just being here it's definitely been fun.
How do you feel so far getting back into it?
Definitely a little winded, I be tired out there sometimes, but it's been fun and going against great competition my first time being back and just knowing I can still win the reps, it's definitely been amazing.
So everything with the injury is good. It's just your conditioning got to get back in right.
Well, I'm about 80% right now, but definitely both. Yeah.
You still look 100% on the field, so it works out. What would it mean for you to be drafted by the Cowboys and play in a facility that has so much rich tradition around the wide receiver position?
It'll definitely be amazing. Cowboys is a great franchise, and they have a lot of legacy behind it, and the receiver core even more. They have Michael Irvin, CeeDee Lamb. It can go on and on. So just being a part of the offense, it'll be amazing.
He talked about it a little bit there, but 7 games only in his final season at Utah State, nearly put up he ended up putting up 830-plus yards of receiving in 7 games. Was tremendous over the back half of the schedule. Continued to get better and better. He was a 1,000-yard receiver in 2023 as well. So if the Cowboys are looking at the wide receiver position, maybe a little bit later, that second, third-round mix, that might be a name in the fold. Even if you wanted to push it past that fourth-round possibility, I think Royals could be in the play there. A lot of Cowboys fans have asked me about him through the draft show a couple times as well, so wanted to catch up with him. What have you seen from this wide receiver group outside?
Oh, yeah, there's just so many talented wide receivers. I mean, you look at the one-on-one matches, as you mentioned, how cornerbacks are kind of already at a disadvantage. But even in the 11-on-11 portion, I think we've seen some guys step out. Jalen Royals from Iowa State, one of those guys. When we came into this process, we looked at Xavier Restrepo from Miami as maybe the leader in the clubhouse in terms of route running and how savvy and creative he was with getting open. But Jalen Royals has really impressed me this week. And his counterpart at Iowa State, Jaden Higgins on the outside, one of the big X guys and one of the top X guys in this class. And you look at those outside, big-bodied physical receivers, I thought he had a great second day today as well.
Yeah, both Iowa State guys have shown out in the first 2 days. And we've got another day of practice before, of course, all of these guys play the game on Saturday as well. We've got another episode with exclusive interviews on Radio Row up here in Mobile, Alabama from inside the Mobile Convention Center. But until then, we're signing off. For Tommy Yarish, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Day 2 of the Senior Bowl in the books. We'll see you next time on DallasCowboys.com.